Hey everybody, welcome back to A Few Minutes with Mark here. Hope you're enjoying your vacation time, your staycation time, whatever cation time you got going on. I want to share something with you today, but before I do, go down and subscribe to this channel. Pass it on to people you know and love and like, who you think would benefit from this message of hope and inspiration as it relates to being a man and being Christian. Those are the two qualifications on this channel that I speak to the most. So I want to talk about raising the flag of honor, since we just celebrated a National Independence Day, and what it takes as a man to fill the gap, to step in the gap, to be bold, to be courageous, and to set forth a stake in the sand or a line in the sand, something to mark your boundaries, okay? And so here's what I want to do. I want to talk to you about doing whatever you got to do when you got to do it, so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. And what that means is our role today as Christian men in the world is we have to stand up. Man, there is so much violence going on right now because of Roe versus Wade. There's so much violence going on between good and evil. Good is not doing violent, but evil's doing good, violence to good. Churches being attacked, parades being shot up, people being condemned, all over a difference of opinion or a difference of philosophy. It's not like an intruder came in and knocked down your door and you have to go to battle and fight and defend your family, firsthand. What we have to do is go in and defend our culture, our way of life, our freedom, our liberty. We got to fill the gap here, men. Don't sit on the sidelines, not now. You got to stand up, and when people are coming at you and attacking you, you got to have that conversation. I'm at a family gathering over the weekend, and I got wind that I was white privileged from a family member. And I don't want to get into details about that. That's probably not good. Too many people watch these videos. But let's just say that the conversation went like this. White privileged, and, it's kind of like it's my fault. And I asked the question, what is it? What is it? What's white privileged? I mean, what does that mean? I have opportunities other people don't have, and it's not fair to them. Okay, fair enough. You explained that. Well, what opportunities do I have? You live in a nice neighborhood. You drive a nice car. You have income. You've got all these things, right, in life that we kind of tag and look at as part of the success trail. That being said, I'm like, wait a minute. I poured out my blood, sweat, and tears and built a company. I poured out my blood, sweat, and tears and worked as a welder. I poured out my blood, sweat, and tears and worked 3 jobs at one time as necessary as a young dad at 18, 19 years old to provide for my family just so we could make rent. I did what I had to do. So it came down to this. This person said to me, well, I can show you what it means to be white privilege. I'll take you in the ghetto and drop you off. I started laughing. I said, you really don't know who I am, do you? All of my dad's family came from the ghetto. They were a little coal mining town in Pennsylvania. They were trapped. They worked for the man in the coal mine, and the man in the coal mine owned the company store. They owned the food store. They owned the clothing store. They owned everything. Whatever money they got, they took back in the form of scripts. That was forced labor and poverty. My dad's relatives grew up to be on welfare, and their kids grew up to be on welfare. Where do you think welfare lives? In the projects, in the hood, what they were calling the ghetto. And I said, my dad used to take me down there twice a month to visit his brothers and sisters and meet all my cousins and stuff like that. I used to leave the comfort of my dad's suburban home. Why did my dad have a suburban home and all of his other relatives lived in the ghetto or lived in bad areas? They were from Pennsylvania and from Ohio, so they were downtown Cleveland in the worst areas, and in Pennsylvania in the worst rural areas. And I'm like, I know what it's like. I know who those people are. My experiences tell me this. They don't have desire, they don't have ambition, and they don't have motivation to change their circumstances. And then good, well-meaning people like you, talking to my relative, think it's a good idea to go out and find someone else to blame and to find a reason for that. And I'm going to turn the tables on you and say, okay, why don't you go do something about it instead of telling me it's my fault? Why don't you go have an impact? You make a difference. You do what my wife and I have done. You start ministries by the handfuls to help those less fortunate than ourselves, to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to educate the illiterate. You go help single moms who can't make it on their own and are thinking about having an abortion, and you put them up for 9 months so they can have that baby and take care of them. And then you keep them for another year and a half or two to see if you can find them a job and train them, teach them, educate them, and motivate them how not to be in a poverty mindset. You do that. You go put your hard-earned money into charities and noble causes. Don't sit here and tell me I'm white privileged because I became successful. I chose to become successful. Now, I'm telling you that story for this reason, gentlemen. I gave you a lot of gap-filling moments there that just happened to me this holiday weekend. And it's time that we men stand up and speak out. Not just go, oh yeah, that's really bad. What are you talking about that's really bad? There's no such thing. It's a made-up term by the people that want to destroy the culture of the United States of America. What is the culture of the United States of America? Opportunity, freedom, independence, entrepreneurialism, which happens to be capitalism, which makes the entire world go round when it comes to things that we need and do. This country is one of the greatest countries in the world because of capitalists. This country is one of the greatest countries in the world because of diversity and unity. Let me explain to you guys. Too much diversity causes conflict. Too much unity or unification or oneness, if you will, causes bondage. Okay? They're both extremes, but somewhere in the middle you can have both. You can have a difference of opinion and you can have unity. I choose to live where I want to live because I want to live where I want to live. And I've afforded myself the opportunity to choose that. I've lived in some of the greatest neighborhoods, and right now I'm living in a neighborhood where my daughter is, where she can afford to live, and it's a totally diverse neighborhood. It's 1959 houses, and we're just doing what we got to do. But step in the gaps, guys. That's what I'm saying to you. Hear that message. Hear that message. Step in the gaps. Don't let another Independence Day go by where people are trashing America and downtrodden on you for being who you are and what you are in terms of your successes in life, in terms of your perspectives in life. We're all created equal in some way, but not always. Some people have more ambition than others. Some people have more desire than others. Some people have more intellect than others. And it's up to us that do create success and success models to help those less fortunate than ourselves. But start standing up, guys. If you don't stand up, your own family's going to get torn down. The diversity that comes into your life will create conflict, and that conflict will tear your own families apart. Kind of a heavy message here today, the day after Independence Day, but I just wanted to leave you something. And I was really moved and touched this weekend by so many things, and there's such great awesomeness. And I found out today from one of my children that she's pregnant again and going to have another baby. So number 5 grandbaby's on the way, and we couldn't be more excited and more happy living the dream. God bless you. I hope you're finding your dreams too. Talk to you soon.